Fasten your chin strap and put your pads on. Get a grip on the bat, here comes a fastball. We ain't going one and done, we're here to last long. This the top of the standards, get ready to blast off. Alright, let's do this. Bang! Bang! Every Sunday afternoon, big sports fanatics coming out your speakers like a piston running with magic. Game time status good to go is automatic. Ready for the blowouts and the instant classics. Calling all the teachers, all the fathers and the mothers. Calling all the kids, all the sisters and the brothers. Dynamic high schoolers in the game like no other preseason. Game 7s, hey, y'all know we got it covered. From the finals to the Super Bowl to the World Series to the Stanley Cup final. Over here we spit it clearly. Andrew Hale and Jotham Israel coming with the hottest topics. Hey, you know what's up with sports. People wanting it, we got it. Yeah, get in the game. It's the top of the standards, man. Get in the game. It's the top of the standards. Yo, get in the game. It's the top of the standards, man. Get in the game. It's the top of the standards. Come on. Get in the game. It's the top of the standards, man. Get in the game. It's the top of the standards. Yo, get in the game. It's the top of the standards, man. Get in the game. It's the top of the standards. Come on.
Yeah, top of the standards. That's what it's about, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, season 2 is here, baby. Yes, Jotham Israel and Andrew Hale, we're back and better than ever. Yes, we got a ton of sports to talk about, as always. And yes, I can rap. I produced the song, I wrote the lyrics, and I rapped it. That is my voice. Yes, you guys better believe it. But before we get started,
we wanted to let you know that Top of the Standings is brought to you by Anchor. Anchor is a completely free and easy-to-use platform for podcasting. A computer or even a mobile device with a functional internal or external microphone is all you need to start recording your podcast with Anchor. When you do finish recording your podcast audio, you can simply edit it and upload it to the biggest podcasting platforms like iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and more. 4 months and 16 episodes of Top of the Standings is walking proof of Anchor's usefulness. If you don't know how to start a podcast, Anchor is the perfect place to start. For more information, go to anchor.fm on the web or download the Anchor app on your mobile device.
All right, Drew. So let's get this straight. Conference tournaments are arriving. They are coming again. Can we please make sure we can get through it this year?
I hope so. I really do. I'm optimistic. But you always got to stay cautious in these situations. You never know what can happen. There could be an outbreak among one team, and then they ruin it for all the other teams. So, I'm optimistic, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if something did happen. Hopefully, everything goes smooth. I really am hoping for that to happen.
Yeah, I am too, man. Because I've been waiting to see who wins the Power 5 conferences for so long, meaning 2 years now. And I mean, right now I'm watching the ACC championship for women's, and I'm watching some of the lower mid-tier conferences on the men's side, like Campbell and Winthrop. But I'm literally going to try to watch as many conference championships as I can this year. Because I mean, I learned last year and the year before that I really can't take them for granted, especially not from the Atlantic Sun to the Atlantic Coast Conference. I really want to soak it all in.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you have to. It's a unique situation in sports. I mean, obviously in the NBA, they're going to have, playoff games, but I don't think anything beats the excitement of a conference championship game or a tournament game for that matter.
Oh, no, it's intense, especially when the conference is as stacked as, like, say, the Big 10 or the Big 12. Oh, boy, you have no idea who's going to come out of that.
Yeah, on that topic, I want to know, there's been a lot of debate. Which conference would you rather take? Big 12, Big 10?
Oh, I'm taking the Big 10. Yeah. Look, we figured that, we know the cream of the crop is, West Virginia, Oklahoma, Texas, and Baylor, and maybe Kansas if they can stay consistent. In the Big 10, you still have no idea who is going to stay consistent, who's going to stay inconsistent. Iowa's had their ups and downs. Illinois has had their ups and downs. Heck, even Michigan State has had their ups and downs. Michigan's had ups and downs. Yes, even though they only have 2 losses. Still, those 2 losses were a couple of big losses. Yeah. We'll say that. Embarrassing, I might add. And even, there's like all the teams in the Big Ten, like, they can be good. Like, I think Indiana's a really, is a better team than what their record indicates, but yeah, they're in a conference that's so tough. It's just like, yikes! Like, there's a reason they're below 500. That conference is so tough, and you just don't know who's gonna come out of it. And it's just pure insanity, man.
We saw it last year. Your Penn State Nittany Lions were, up there. They were going to make the tournament. So that's just direct proof on how crazy the Big Ten can be. Obviously, kind of struggled this year, but that's all right. It's been a crazy year for every conference for that matter. I mean, like you said, conference championships are on the way. I'm excited. Also, one big game today as well, as you can tell. Michigan State hat, Michigan State jacket.
Michigan State everything.
Of
Green
course.
wall,
Of
the
course.
pendant in the background. Even though this is basketball, still see the football helmet in the background. Yeah, dude. It's a pretty perfect revenge day if you so to speak. I mean, Michigan went all out. I did not expect them to shoot confetti from winning the regular season Big Ten championship. I don't think I've seen it in person before, but I guess that's something new. I don't know if they usually do that, but I'll have to look back at previous regular season clinched conference championships at home. But that was the first time they were really happy. Like Michigan was really, really happy to win that regular season conference title. I hope they can keep the same energy in the postseason because that's when it gets real, real.
Yeah, I wouldn't know about the celebration. I turned the game off. I'm not watching that.
Yeah, I don't believe. Hopefully, it'll be a more competitive. I won't say more competitive, but closer game today.
I hope so.
I'd love to see it go down to the wire. I mean, I know it's a lot on the line. I mean, Michigan already has the conference regular season in their pocket, but Michigan State. I mean, that this would be a good win to have on their resume. Just to give them.
This would be a massive win to have. Right now, they're on the border. I don't know if they're getting in if they don't win this. If they win this, there's a better chance. But right now, if they lose, it'll be tough to get in my opinion.
How far do you think you'll have to go in the Big Ten tournament to be like, okay, Michigan State is an at-large bid?
I mean, I think just win this game and you're in my opinion. If you win this, I think you're in. But, I mean, hey, why not get the cherry on top? Go ahead and win some games in the tournament.
Yeah, and another thing I want to note, since the cherry would be very big if you were to beat Michigan because of all the things I heard in the post game press conferences about using Draymond Green as motivation and the players like that. We like that. It feels really good to do it against them. And I'm just like, oh gosh, this rivalry is real. Sheesh.
Yeah, always has been. I'm not surprised. It's all right. It's all right. We won, back-to-back Big Ten championships. They can have it.
Well, wasn't one of them over them?
Oh yeah. I think it was the year before. Maybe it was last year. No, it was the year before. We won 3 straight games against Michigan. Oh, that was so great. And 2 in the regular season, then 1 in the Big Ten championship. That was fantastic. That was so much fun.
I remember rooting for them because they were the underdog. I think they were the lower ranked team. I think they were like MSU was 9 and Michigan was like 3.
Yeah, I don't think they were supposed to win any of those games, but they did.
Yeah, yeah. And I was just like, dang, Michigan, this boy Cassius Winston. That's when I knew. Okay, this dude Cassius Winston can ball.
Yeah,
he can ball.
Dude, we need him right now. He needs to suit up. Get over to East Lansing.
Oh man, yeah, that is awesome. But we were talking about Loyola Chicago being a dark horse. They got one more step to go. I mean, I think they'll have an at-large bid regardless. I mean, they're ranked. I mean, I would assume if you're ranked in the top 25 that you're going to be an at-large bid at least. But this is an interesting game, even though it's not a Power 5 conference championship. Drake and Loyola Chicago. I mean, we talked about these two teams, previously. Remember when I jinxed Loyola Chicago? Like Drake just got the brakes beat off of them by the Ramblers, and then the Bulldogs came back and beat the Ramblers, and it was just like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for this game.
Yeah, I remember that very clearly, but I agree with you. I think Loyola Chicago is in already. I mean, like you said, they're ranked. They're playing well. I don't see them not making it. I think they're in for sure.
Yeah, I'm interested to see the seeding because I'm not a bracketologist, so I have no idea who's gonna go where. I don't even know how they differentiate a 1 seed from a 2 seed from a 3 seed. Okay, I understand a 1 seed because like pick the top 4 teams in the nation, bam, 1 seed. The other seeds, oh boy, that's where you lose me.
Yeah, well, one thing we can't agree on is that I don't think Duke's gonna make March Madness this year, and that's a great feeling.
Or Kentucky.
Or Kentucky, that is true. Oh man,
Oh, dude,
you
the
love
only
to see
way
it.
the only ways they can get in now is if they win the conference tournaments by some miracle.
Dude, if that happens, I'm gonna be heated. But I mean, respect to them. If they do that, that's always tough to do. So if that somehow happens, respect to them. Okay, it's okay. But as they've played in the regular season, they've not looked good, either of them. I mean, they're playing a little bit better. Duke is no,
Yeah,
no.
not what I'm used to. That's not what I'm used to seeing, dude. They just got the brakes beaten off of them by North Carolina. They were advertising all week. This North Carolina Duke always delivers. It always delivers. It always delivers. Jay Billis, it always delivers. Dan Shulman, it always delivers. Yeah, it delivered all right. North Carolina delivered a big butt whooping to the Blue Devils. Like, geez, dude, that was not competitive at all. I was just like I saw the start of the game. It was like 11-4. I was like, oh no, this game's over.
Yeah, I mean, Duke just hasn't played well all year. I mean, it got to a point earlier in the regular season after they lost back-to-back Big Ten games. They were like, you know what? Maybe we should cancel our season. Maybe we shouldn't play during a pandemic. So, from the beginning of the season, they have not played well, and it's really weird to see them at 11 and 11.
NIT time.
Yeah, like Kentucky the other year, losing to George Washington of all teams in the NIT. Maybe that'll happen this year. Who knows?
Dude, I'm gonna be crying so hard if they lose to like a little mid-major team, like somebody from the Atlantic Sun or the Atlantic 10 or something like that. Dude, that's going to be the troll cherry on the top of that Sunday of misery for the Duke Blue Devils. Oh my gosh.
I'm hoping it happens. I really am.
Whew, boy. Yeah, but college basketball, man, we're a week away from knowing who's in the tourney. Let's get through it this year, man. Let's do it.
Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay, Drew. So the NBA All-Star event is today. I can't just say game because we got the whole shebang in all in one day. We got the slam dunk contest, the 3-point shooting contest, and the All-Star game in one day. I've been waiting for this day for so long because I'm just like All-Star Saturday night. I mean, it's decent, but I would love to see what would happen if it all got crammed in one day, and I finally get to see how that goes.
Yeah, and it just got a lot crazier. You're mentioning COVID outbreaks and potential, things going on in college basketball. Well, no Joel Embiid, no Ben Simmons in the All-Star game because they came in close contact with a barber who tested positive for COVID-19. So we're already down 2 players. I'm assuming they're going to continue to play it today, but no replacements though. So Team KD has just gotten a little bit shorter.
On some Super Bowl 55 Chiefs type stuff, man. Come on. Look, dude, let's be real. The last thing the Philadelphia Sixers franchise needs is those 2 guys to have COVID issues. I mean, this is undoubtedly the best season of the trust the process era. This is undoubtedly where they had wanted to be when they started doing all that tanking and the trust in the process, and this is where they wanted to be. Now they have to maintain it and go to higher levels in the playoffs. Right now it's not a good time for those 2 guys to start having COVID issues. Now you can point to.
I mean, I think this right now is as good as any time if they were to get it because all they're going to be doing is just missing the All-Star game if they have it. If they have it first and foremost, but if they have it now, they're going to miss the All-Star game, of course, but then they still got a break. And then they still come back later this week. So if any time, I think this is the best time if they were to get it. I mean, it's the All-Star game. Yes, it's important, but it's not as important as getting your team to the playoffs.
Yeah, they don't They don't play until Thursday, obviously,
Yeah.
but um, I mean, you still hope that they are, all right,
Yeah.
that they don't have COVID. I mean, you would rather not have COVID than have it. So, yeah, hope Simmons and Embiid, aren't in that predicament. But if they do want a ray of hope, I mean, look at what Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell are right now. I mean, top of their conference, very similar situation, top of their conference, doing really well with bouncing back and stuff like that. And that's if they and they did have COVID. We don't know about Simmons and Embiid, but I mean, sometimes it can spark a comeback. A little comeback of some sorts.
Yeah, quite possibly. I don't know. You mentioned the Jazz. It's funny that they were the last two to get picked in the All-Star game. What did LeBron say? He said, as a kid, no one grew up picking the Jazz in NBA 2K or Live or whatever. Dude, that was kind of funny. That was kind of funny.
Yeah, it was funny, but man, it was disrespectful too. I was like, it's like it's like a harsh truth.
I mean, yeah, he isn't wrong.
I mean, it's a harsh truth because it's like people don't look at the Utah Jazz like that's a sexy franchise to play with in a video game. Like when you think of like teams that you want to play with, you're thinking of the big market teams, the big boy teams, the Lakers, saying any team with LeBron on it, really. The Thunder of the old days, the Thunder were a really hot spot for a long time.
Warriors.
Yeah, the Warriors. You think of all the big time teams who had the big threes,
Yeah.
All those teams. Utah Jazz, it's just like they were looking at them like, yeah, we're sleeping on you guys.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Karl Malone. Nice.
Oh man, I wonder how NBA Live team picking was like in the 90s. Even though there was no online play, I wonder who, like when you would play locally.
I mean,
who
well,
did you-
I think I have a good answer. It's probably the Bulls.
Yeah, you slap Michael Jordan on so many of the covers. Well, not so many of the covers, but you slap Michael Jordan on so many advertisements and stuff like that. That's automatic big money. And the Bulls always, that was their decade, man. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know who plays as the Bulls nowadays in video games either. But yeah, what LeBron said was a bit disrespectful, but it was also hilarious at the same time. It's almost like a better version of what Klay Thompson and Draymond Green did to Rodney McGruder. But I will say, Rodney McGruder, he got his clapback. I heard he had a nice game.
Thank you. Yes, he after the Pistons have faced numerous injuries from Jeremy Grant to Lon Wright, Rodney McGruder has gotten some playing time, and he's made the most of it. I mean, I think their last game, he came in, he scored 5 points in 3 minutes. That's productive. Off the bench, coming in the game, get right into it. Really, really good stuff from Rodney McGruder. He's proven Klay wrong and Draymond wrong. Hey, respect to Rodney. He's proven why you should never judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, and I will admit that maybe my LVP wasn't so deserving of Rodney McGruder because, and you know what? Maybe an LVP is a spark to turn yourself into an MVP.
Exactly. He listened to top of the standings after that game. He saw that Jotham Israel gave him an LVP. He was like, next week or in a couple months, you're gonna see me awarded the MVP. Probably not, but shout out to Rodney McGruder.
Yeah, he just the minute he drops something like 25 or 30 again, oh, it's over. He's getting automatic MVP. It's got to be either one of us to give him. There's no way if he drops 30. There's no way that both of us can find two better MVPs in the same week. There's no way. But yeah, that dude. I mean, the only time I like to be wrong is when I see somebody step up and prove me wrong. That's the best time to be wrong, when you doubt somebody and they have success off of it, and well, now a lot of people are going to absolutely destroy you for it. But I'm glad McGruder is shutting that narrative down, because that situation was messed up. Nobody knew about it. I'm pretty sure a lot of people were just like siding with Draymond and Clay. Maybe listening to the media a little bit too much.
Yep. That's what happens, though.
Yeah, not listening to the lesser known player side of the story and just superstar stuff.
Yeah.
But that's besides the point, man. I want to ask you, dude, who has impressed you most so far in this season?
Well, you're really gonna have to make me say the Jazz. I know. I've said that they haven't played well in the playoffs and that they're not gonna do too much, and I still stand by that. But off of the regular season, they have played quite well. They have impressed me. I think they have impressed they should have impressed all NBA fans. I mean, just look at their record right now. Look at where they're at. It's really impressive. I don't know what happened in the offseason. Maybe it was the Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell incident where they kind of, were going back and forth during the shutdown, actually the beginning of the shutdown. I don't know what happened. Maybe a spark in the locker room. I don't know, but they were playing some good basketball as of late.
Yeah, and obviously having Bogdanovich back helps a lot, because they didn't have him in the playoffs when they blew a 3-1 lead. If they had Bogdanovich, they would have had a date with the Clippers. But yeah, dude, as impressive as the Jazz were, man, I gotta go with the Phoenix Suns, because just looking at the Phoenix Suns, and it's tough to pick between the Suns and the Sixers, but you could see the Sixers turning it up with Doc Rivers.
Yeah.
But the Suns, I mean, just look at where they were 2-3 years ago. I think they had like a lot of dysfunction within their organization with like front office and stuff like that. And now to see that they got Chris Paul, that's a decent free agent acquisition if you ask me. And then Devin Booker stepping it up. The bubble run was not a fluke. The bubble run, they shut that narrative down. The bubble run is not a fluke. If you told me that the Lakers and the Clippers were not going to be in the top 2 in the West by All-Star break, you would have slapped me so hard I would have went back to 2004. Dude, it's still crazy to look at. Like, I'm looking at the standings right now. Utah at 1, Phoenix at 2, Lakers at 3, Clippers at 4. What? Dude, the seeding is going to be so interesting, especially if they stand. That means we would get a Lakers-Nuggets first-round series. We would get Paul George versus Damian Lillard, Blazers versus Clippers. That would be interesting, especially after what we saw in the bubble. Cancun on 3.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I don't know, because the Clippers, as of late, they've had some injury problems. It seems like Kawhi and Paul George should never play with each other without being injured. I don't know. That would be a very interesting playoff series. In my opinion, I think it'd be close to being evenly matched, in my opinion.
Damian Lillard, as usual, is going to probably have to do a lot of carrying.
100%.
Just because the star power of the Clippers, it's But I mean, other than Damian Lillard, there's no real other secondary superstar in Portland.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be amazing. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so excited just thinking about the potential playoff series, especially in the West. Because, dude, you have Golden State is over 500 and they are not even in the top 8. This conference is deep. Oh my gosh, I will never get over it.
It is. And let me flip the table real quick. You asked me who have I been most impressed with. Let me ask you, who is your most disappointing team so far up until this point? Who's disappointed you the most?
The most disappointing team, I gotta say the Orlando Magic.
Okay.
I know it's a bit nitpicky, and I'm not trying to bash my own team, but I am so disappointed in how the season's gone so far. I did not expect to be fighting you for Cade Cunningham. For your sake, I hope we don't get that number 1 pick. But I mean, at least that would be decent compensation if you ask me. But this is not where I wanted to be in the season. The Wizards, they've gotten on the win streak. The Hawks, they're starting to get back into playoff contention. Even the Bulls are starting to turn some heads. Maybe a playoff squad. Meanwhile, here in Orlando, it's just like, injuries, more injuries. The team's not going anywhere. We're failing to build around our young players and develop the young stars. It's like
it's tough to win games when you're literally getting carried by Fournier and Vucevic.
gosh, we just can't build around these guys, man. I mean, it's so frustrating. It's almost like we're in the same boat, but we're not in the same boat because this is. I mean, we were just in the playoffs 2 years in a row. It's just like now we're just right back at rock bottom. Not to say that the Pistons suck because they're haven't been in the playoffs in the last 2 years.
They've been bad. They've been bad as of recently for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, at least Detroit has some upside to it with young talent.
Yes. Oh, and Blake Griffin's gone. Finally. It's sad, though. He's probably my favorite player of all time. Nonetheless, go on.
Yeah, it's just like, that's my most disappointing team. The Magic, I mean, I didn't expect them to be like top 4 in the East all of a sudden, but I didn't expect them to be this bad, fighting the Pistons for the number 1 pick, fighting the Timberwolves for the number 1 pick, maybe even the Houston Rockets too. I mean, yeah, I'm picking the Magic over the Rockets for most disappointing because I after they traded James Harden, I expected a rebuild. But the Magic, geez, man.
Yeah.
This sucks.
Personally, I was going to say either the Hawks or the Wizards. I know both of those teams are, trending up, but dude, Russell Westbrook has fallen off. He has. He really it's just kind of disappointing. He was at an MVP level the other year, and now it's tough for him to do anything. I know they're trending up, and I know they're playing better, but from that Wizards squad, when you have Bradley Beal, who's again an East starter. I mean, he's played out of his mind this season. And as for the Hawks, they've had a lot of injuries with a lot of their new players. But, again, you would expect them to be up a little bit higher. They've already fired their coach. I mean, Trae Young, he needs some help, obviously. He hasn't really gotten too much. They're trending up again, which is good. But you would just expect them to do a little bit better with all of their off-season acquisitions and stuff. It's both of those teams have kind of been disappointing this year.
Yeah, I mean, with the disappointing teams, there's always, the overachieving teams. I mean, we figured in the Eastern Conference there's going to be somebody that's like, oh, wow, you're in playoff contention. Great job. And then there's going to be those that you think they're going to be in that dogfight, but it's just like, it's disappointing. For those overachieving teams, dude, I like where the Charlotte Hornets are at. I think LaMelo Ball is doing a really good job of, being a rookie, a good rookie in the NBA, maybe rookie of the year. And yeah, dude, I'm just excited to see how the East turns out because it's going to be a dogfight till May.
Yeah, 100%. Overachieving. The Knicks. What about the Knicks?
Yeah, see, I'll definitely tap more to them later, but dude, the Knicks are over 500. They're going into the All-Star break. When was the last time the New York Knicks were above 500 going into the All-Star break?
Probably when they had Melo.
Maybe, but that's insane. If the standings stand right now, then we would have Celtics Knicks, which that's already automatic big market stuff. New York versus Boston is already.
Dude, I should have said most disappointing is Boston. They've been pretty bad.
Not where we expected them to be, right?
Yeah.
Dude, you want to talk about Russell Westbrook regressing? Kemba Walker has just been on a avalanche. I can't believe how much he's regressed. It's sad to see because I really liked Kemba, especially when he was in Charlotte. But ever since he's gotten to the Celtics, it's like, dang, he hasn't been himself. No, where's the cardiac Kemba? Where's the step back? You know what I'm saying? Dagger in the clutch.
Yeah, I mean, I've just been impressed with Jaylen Brown. I mean, he's turning into a superstar in my opinion.
Oh yeah, look, bro, that 1-2 punch of Tatum and Brown, that's starting to become something serious.
Oh yeah, I mean for sure, both of those players, I wouldn't say generational talents, but they're definitely growing into the superstar role for sure.
Oh yeah, kind of like the kind of like Paul Pierce ish.
No, no.
Just more athletic. Um, but yeah, dude, I look. There was a point where I believe the Celtics were like at 500 or below 500. Yeah, they won their last four, so yeah, they were below 500 too. They were 15 and 17 at one point. I did not expect that to happen, and then to be in the same boat as the Bulls and the early season Raptors. Yeah, I was like, don't tell me, don't know. This team has to make the playoffs, or else there's going to be some major problems in that organization.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, but All-Star break. I mean, let's enjoy it as fans. Hopefully, nobody gets screwed by COVID again. Um, hopefully, everybody can get past their set of games, and well, let's see our season end on what, May 16th, which is a Sunday. Usually the seasons end on a Wednesday, but looks like it's going to end on a Sunday. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
All right, dude. This week on the Canadians. Well, a week after they fired their coach, kind of on a downhill slope ish, but last night they did have a convincing win over a suddenly playoff worthy team in the Winnipeg Jets. So I gotta ask you, dude, are the Canadians still on your not making the playoff list even after a win like this?
100%. I mean, I've made this comparison before. It's like the stock market. Start off high, go down, let's go up again. What happens when they start to go up on a roller coaster? What happens?
It goes down again.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. It's going to take a lot it would take a lot for a Canadians fan to sell to you, Drew, we are for real. We are for real.
Okay, yeah, you've said that for the past 10 years. Cool.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see. I mean, my thing is, if the Canadians do make the playoffs, how bad are the Flames and the Canucks really?
I mean,
Because
that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's almost inevitable that they're going to make the playoffs when you're in a division filled with Ottawa and a struggling Calgary and even Vancouver, who hasn't played too well. So, again, if they make it, it's almost inevitable. But year in and year out, I've seen this story before. I'm hoping that they don't make it. Not that Montreal has done anything. I couldn't care less about Montreal. They're okay. They're just to me. I mean, it doesn't matter what they do. But from what I've seen these past 10 years, they start off strong. They start to decrease shortly after. But again, you're in a division with Ottawa, and that's from the beginning of the season. Ottawa's already like, yeah, they're not going to make the playoffs. They've already been checked out of the playoff watch.
So that's 6 teams instead of
Yes.
7, technically in the North Division racing, and I don't even know. I mean, I really want my Flames Oilers, but I mean, I wouldn't be mad if the Canadians made the playoffs. I mean, I like seeing underdog stories or whatever. I mean, I saw them beat the Penguins, which was pretty nice. But dude, I honestly do not have the foggiest clue how to look at this Canadians team going into the spring, because I mean, yeah, they fired their head coach, and they just got this big win. I mean, what do I think about this? I got to see more.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
like you said, inconsistencies.
Yeah. Dude, you know who's really disappointing? The Sabres. They're literally the worst team. They're horrible. And I saw a good point. I forgot which analyst made it, but they have all this star power, and they're the worst team in the NHL. It's disappointing. They just, it seems like year in and year out, like they can't do anything. Come on, Sabres. I want to see you be successful for once.
Yeah, it frustrates me. I don't even know anybody on the Sabres team. I mean, and it's frustrating because I love Buffalo. Buffalo, the city of Buffalo is dope, as dope of an American city as you will ever come across.
Yeah.
It just sucks to see how the Sabres are year in, year out, just at the bottom of their division, just hunting out for that, hunting out for picks. Not hunting for picks. They try to be a playoff team, but dude, it's like you got to be kidding me with how bad this team is. It sucks. I mean, at least Buffalo has the Bills on the rise now, but man, the Sabres.
Finally,
it would be. Yeah, finally.
Yeah, one of their teams is finally playing somewhat decent at the sport that they're in. But even the Devils have been bad. Red Wings, come on, continue to be bad. We cannot be out-tanked by the Sabres or the Devils or Ottawa. Come on, continue to lose. But it's actually okay because the Red Wings have scored a power play goal in 4 straight games.
Oh my gosh. This is starting to become a lucky charm for you.
I know, right? I need to reverse jinx everything. Any time my teams play bad, just need to reverse jinx them, and maybe they'll trend upwards.
Yeah, dude. I guess so. But sticking with the Central Division, man. After having a skid in that Lightning series, come back and win 4 in a row. So, I mean, it's up and down. With the Hurricanes, I don't know what to think about this team really, outside of you're a pretty good playoff worthy team. I mean, I'm happy. I mean, they have 16 wins in 23 games, so they're not getting all their points off of overtime losses or anything like that. But I guess I'm fine with content with where we're at.
Yeah, you guys kind of lucked out though. If Nino Niederreiter would have gotten suspended, that would have been a big blow. Obviously, they just fined him for a couple $1,000. But if the Canes would have lost him, that would have been a tough break for their roster.
Yeah, we would have had to do some reconfiguration.
That was random. I've never seen a player hit a goalie like that.
Yeah. Speaking of hits, didn't the Bruins and the Capitals have something happen?
Oh yeah, I mean, no surprise when you have Tom Wilson on your team. Literally, year in and year out, he's going to get suspended at least one time. I mean, it's inevitable. I mean, all he does. I mean, everyone knows if you're not a hockey fan, Tom Wilson is the guy that when you turn on SportsCenter, he's going to be at probably number 1 for a knockout punch. That's all he does. He fights. He isn't really known for his goal scoring or passing or whatever. He's known for his fighting and being a tough guy in the league. And he kind of proved that, getting suspended for 7 games. And recently, I don't know if it was this year, but at least once a year he gets actually a knockout punch. So that's Tom Wilson for you.
Whoa, jeez. Dang. Well, at least Carlo, I hope he's all right. I mean, I think Bruce Cassidy said he's going to take it week by week, which that's definitely reasonable. I mean, day by day would be insane after that hit. But yeah, I mean, when you go to the hospital after a hockey game, that's, I mean, how does that even, go through someone's mind? Like, you got to take all that equipment off, find a way to get all that equipment off safely. Oh my gosh, I don't know how people do it, dude. I don't know how people do it.
Yeah, same with football too. It's always crazy. It's always crazy when they get injured, especially on ice. Imagine like the people with like a stretcher that have to come out, try not to slip.
Ugh. Oh my gosh. I mean, you got to have some super frictional ice
shoes. Someone needs to, those are probably a thing, but someone needs to, create Nike ice shoes.
Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah. Last thing I want to touch up on is the West Division because I have a weird feeling in my gut that somebody's going to jump on the St. Louis Blues. I have a weird feeling in my gut that the Blues might really not, I don't know how to, I don't want to say not make the playoffs, but have to fight to make the playoffs.
I could see it. I think that division's pretty up for grabs, especially since the Blues have had kind of a goaltending issue a little bit. I don't know. I think you're right. All I know is that the Vegas Golden Knights Come on, let's get it this year. Let's get it this year.
Dude, they got the gold jerseys on their side. Oh my gosh.
And
And they
helmets.
got the red joints.
Yep.
Oh, dude, they have arguably the best uniform game in the whole NHL, dude. I mean, let's get them a ring. Let's get Vegas a ring, man. These guys.
Finally, dude, I would feel bad if I was like a fan of the Sabres. You play three years in the league and you've already gone to 2 Stanley Cups.
Oh my gosh, dude, that would be absolutely sad. I, oh my gosh, it's like Vegas. Them in black and red is almost better than what the Sabres were in black and red already. And it's just like, you got to be freaking kidding me. I mean, this is an expansion team.
Yeah, they're too good. They're too good for being just an expansion team.
Oh my gosh, dude. So the color schemes in the NHL are second to none in professional sports. Second to none.
Of course, yeah. Definitely the best jerseys, for sure.
I don't know, dude. The Wild, the Kings, or the Coyotes for that last playoff spot. It's so interesting because it's like I didn't expect any of these 3 teams to really be deep into contention, but because their division is so small and half your division has to make the playoffs, it's just like, whoa, you know?
Whoa is I know. I guess if I were to pick one, I'd say the Wild. The Kings. I don't know. They've really struggled over the past few years. They just haven't really played great hockey. The Wild, they've made the playoffs a few times. I'm always confident in the Wild's ability, but I don't know. I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah, I'm excited. I want to see, some of these teams that don't get too much national television attention get that attention, especially when they're in the playoff race. I'm tired of seeing all these Eastern Division teams. Like, we always see Penguins, Islanders, Capitals, Bruins, Flyers. It's just like, yeah, okay, we get it. They're good teams. We get it. They're the Eastern Division. But dude, give me some Blue Jackets. They're trying to fight for their sake of their franchise. Give me some Canadians. I mean, give me some Kings, some Coyotes, maybe. I don't want to see the freaking the Senators, the Sabres. No offense to Buffalo, even though I love you, but we don't. Dude, the Islanders are clapping the save right now.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, it's crazy. NHL is always crazy. I mean, we see it year in and year out. Like I said, Montreal, that they're direct proof of how crazy the NHL can be.
Okay, Drew, I want to dive into a little bit of controversy because I feel like this has been a very controversial and mischievous week of sports. I've seen quite a few, let's say, questionable things. I want to start with the Flames because after they fired their head coach, the coach after that is kind of in some heat, and I'm just like, I'm looking at the headlines. I got to read the story, but I'm just like, dude, the Flames can't catch a break with these coaches. Like, and that's the thing about professional sports. It's like nowadays you're seeing more people get exposed and getting blasted for doing bad things. And I'm just like, yo, y'all were doing this for so long and getting away with it.
Well, another thing that was interesting to me about coaches was when the Timberwolves fired their coach and then immediately hire another coach from another team almost hours after. I've never seen that before. I don't know if that's ever happened in the NBA. That was just so random. Usually they have an intern head coach off the bench, but instead it's like they kind of knew that, their first coach was going to get fired at some point. So they were always on the lookout for another one. And they ultimately got the coach that they wanted in the end, which was kind of odd. They probably should have waited until the season was over, but
Yeah, I didn't. When they said expected to hire Raptors assistant, whatever, I'm like, wait, what? You're not gonna hire. You're not gonna have your interim step up or anything. You're just gonna hire another coach off the jump. I'm like, yeah, like you said, Drew. I had never seen that in my life before. I was like, whoa. You like you said, usually it's a process, you know?
Yeah, it definitely, it's like they were looking to hire him all along, and I guess they just decided to do it in the middle of the season.
Oh, geez, man. Yeah, that's absolutely insane. Um, but yeah, dude, I just wanted to highlight that because I've seen so many things. I can't name it off the top of my head. I've seen so many things in sports, where people in power and a lot. I mean, it's happening. It's been happening a lot recently. We already talked about how sportscasters are getting caught for being out of line, and you're seeing all these coaches and staff members of these certain teams, and it's just like we're starting to see this. I don't want to say this is a revolution, but it's more of an evolution, kind of like a turning point in professional sports and stuff like that. Maybe even collegiate sports if you want to go there, but that's a whole different realm too.
Yeah, I suppose. I suppose.
Okay, Drew, let's get into MVPs and LVPs. Wow, that was lightning quick. Who is your MVP?
My MVP is my boy Daryl DK. You most soccer fans probably know him for playing at Orlando City, but Orlando City actually loaned him to Barnsley in the UK, and so far he's playing well in his first tenure with a professional team. Barnsley, they play in the championship, and what that is essentially the second tier of English football. So they're in a decent league. They play good competition. Sometimes they might play Chelsea like they did earlier this year, one of the more bigger soccer teams in the world. But so far in 7 games, and Daryl DK is only 20. It's crazy. He was born in 2000, and he's already playing professional soccer overseas. It's crazy. But nonetheless, in 7 games playing professional soccer, already has 3 goals, playing real well. Daryl DK. I'm kind of nervous. I hope Barnsley, gives DK back to Orlando City. But if he decides to stay in Europe, that's okay. He'll only progress and get better.
Wow. Soccer is such an interesting sport, isn't it? I mean, a lot of, obviously it's not the most popular sport in America, but it's the most popular sport in the world. And there's so many, like, I think you said this last week. Soccer is so interconnected. It's like all these leagues are combined into one league. Like you can trade, I think you say you could trade a player from one league to a different league. Like it was
exactly like I just said, the MLS traded him to a second tier, English football league from the MLS.
That is insane, dude. Wow. Just wow. It always amazes me though.
Yeah.
My MVP, as I mentioned earlier, probably hinted at earlier, is the New York Knicks because, like I said before, I did not expect the Knicks to even be close to playoff contention. Julius Randle has been, stepping up. A lot of the players on the Knicks, a lot of people are telling me it's Tom Thibodeau. It's Thibodeau that's making this team, get to this point because, the Knicks are one of the best defenses in the league, silently one of the best defenses in the league. And I was pleading for a Knicks-Nets series. Man, I might get it in the second round if the Knicks keep this up because they're playing some pretty good basketball, and I'm just like, wow.
Are you gonna take the Knicks if the Nets get Blake Griffin, which they are probably gonna be able to sign him in about 4 or 5 hours? I just want to say, if Blake Griffin actually ends up going to the Nets, that team, literally, that defense is going to be the worst defense in NBA history. Think about it. You got Blake Griffin, you got KD, you got James Harden, you get Kyrie. Where's the defense?
Like, dude, what defense do the Nets have?
Imagine they get Andre Drummond too. Essentially, that'll be their entire defense because we know what Blake Griffin has gone through these past few years. His knees are done. He hasn't had a dunk since 2019. So,
whoa! Wait a minute. It's been that long?
It has. Not one dunk since 2019. He didn't play all of last year. He's only played, 14, 15 games this year.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even peep that. Oh my gosh. Oh, that actually blew my mind. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. Okay. That caught me off guard. That caught me way off guard. Okay, Drew. So who's your LVP?
I already mentioned his name earlier, but it has to be Tom Wilson. Year in and year out, you're getting suspended for cheap shots and fights and whatnot. Tom Wilson, the NHL's big bad guy. So I had to give him the LVP. It was either him or Nino Niederreiter. Both of those players had some dirty hits, and they're ultimately going to pay for it. Tom Wilson gets 7 games suspension, so that's why.
Yeah, I have no words. I mean, seeing these players, I mean, it's crazy how people cross the line in hockey. Like that's a sport where it's so physical. How do you get overly physical in such a physical sport like that, like hockey?
It's interesting because it goes into like the fighting. The reason that there are fights in the NHL and not in any other sport is because really the players they have weapons. They have blades and they have sticks. So we've seen it in NBA or in the NFL or in any sport for that matter where tensions boil over. In the NFL we saw it with Josh Norman and Odell Beckham. They were constantly targeting each other all game, right? All game in that crazy Giants Carolina Panthers game, right? They were constantly headhunting each other, and instead of just letting them, go at it for 30 seconds, they were going back and forth. So that's why there are fights in hockey. Instead of having tensions boil over throughout the game and players targeting each other with sticks, they let them fight, get their anger out, and then they're good to go after.
Wow. So, yeah, hockey is definitely a sport that is definitely, getting exposed in terms of, people doing bad things. Yeah, they're definitely, getting a little bit exposed. I mean, on the player side, in terms of the actual play, I don't know how much more. I think I might have seen a bad injury or two, but man, some of these hits is just like deadly. Like we're talking hospital. Yikes.
But we see that year in and year out, so I'm not surprised by, things going on. There's always suspensions. It always happens.
Yeah, I guess that's my learning lesson 5 years into my NHL fandom. Sticking with the NHL, though, my LVP has to go to the Calgary Flames because, I mean, whether all the accusations are true or not, just the dysfunction that this team is going through is just it's sad to see. I mean, this team, I remember they were like the number 1 seed. Like they had the best record in the West or something a few years back, when they went against the Avalanche in the first round. And they got beat the brakes off by Colorado. And I'm just like, yo, are you kidding me? Like, this was supposed to be the best team. First, the Blackhawks got swept by the Predators, and now this? And now I'm looking at the Flames like they've been on a downfall ever since that. And I'm just like, that's sad. And now you fire your head coach. One of your former coaches has accusations against him. And now your current coach that you just hired is now having accusations against him. Whether the accusations are true or not, I don't care. The fact that the Flames have to deal with this dysfunction, that's big enough of an L as it is.
Well, did you see the Battle of Alberta last night? There were some fights. You wanted it.
I mean, at least that's a bright side for the Flames. They put on a show when they go against the Oilers. That's their bright side.
Dude, it turns into WWE every single time they play. At least one fight. It's necessary.
Woo! You love to see it, man. You love to see it because I'm telling you. You know what? I think I have a little thing. Ever since Rodney Magruder got handed the LVP, he's turned himself into MVP candidate type stuff.
Okay, I thought you were talking about NBA MVP. I was like, whoa, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Okay, I get it now. Top of the standings MVP, sure, I get it.
I saw that look in your
I
face,
was like,
like,
huh?
I was about to be like, whoa, not NBA MVP, not MVP, the top of the standings MVP, but maybe the Flames will take this L, VP, and make the playoffs or something. Maybe prove you right and bounce out the Canadians, and I get to see my Flames Oilers playoff series.
Yeah, I hope that is the case as well.
All right, dude, trivia time. So I asked last week, which college basketball conference has the record for most teams to make it into the tournament?
Well, you know my answer. I said 8 because, again, that is my favorite number.
Well, Drew, almost there, my guy. If you would, it would have been insane if you got it again, though. But the answer is actually 11
Okay.
by the Big East.
Okay, I'm not too surprised.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, college basketball conference. Like, there's so many teams in the Big East. It's like what, 16 of them?
Well, most of them are historic too, if you think about it.
Yeah, teams. I mean, we've seen some good Marquette teams. We've obviously seen some good Louisville teams when they were in the Big East. Obviously UConn. There are a lot. I'm like, whoa, 11? Like, that's insane. But yeah, that's the record. That's insane though.
It is. I was actually surprised. I thought it was gonna be a little bit lower, but 11 is a pretty big number.
Yeah, congrats to the Big East. Hopefully, the Big Ten can break that record one day.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe they're getting really competitive. All right, Drew. So, what's your trivia question?
I was trying to find an interesting trivia question, but then I thought to myself, it's college basketball season. Let me just go back-to-back college basketball questions. All right, so this one's a little bit interesting. It's completely random, but it's a crazy trivia question. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
What college basketball team has the most points in a singular March Madness game? How many points did they have? One game.
I feel like this is not in. This had to have been eons ago. Most points in a March Madness game.
Yeah, in total.
Oh, this had to be
for
eons.
the singular team. How many points did they have in one game?
Oh, this had to have been centuries ago or something.
Let me give you a hint. 1990.
Oh, we're talking 20th century. Yeah, I don't know.
It is a tough one. It's not a team you probably expect.
Maybe not. I'll have to dig into my college basketball video game 2K8. College Hoops 2K8. Shout out to 2K Sports for dropping bangers back in the early 2010s, late 2000s. But yeah, that's an interesting trivia question. Most points in a single game in the March Madness, right?
How many points did they have? Who did it?
Okay, testing my history.
Yep.
Testing the history.
As usual. Yeah,
dude. We talked about a lot today. In less than an hour. Can you believe it?
I can actually. We've been better on time management, I suppose.
Maybe not even just better. Maybe just now that you don't have football, basketball, baseball, and NHL crammed up in the one whole time period. Maybe we didn't have to go nearly 2 hours. But hey, I mentioned earlier before we started, this is probably the first episode we're both wearing baseball caps of some sort. Well, baseball-ish caps.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm wearing this cap, this is a 60th Disneyland anniversary cap. Because I went to Disneyland back in 2015, and I wanted to give a nod to Disneyland opening back up, and California kind of opening up a little bit, letting Dodgers and Angels fans getting back into their stadiums and letting Disneyland open back up next month, April 1st. I say to you, California, good luck. Good luck on trying to operate that. good luck with that. I don't know how one musters up enough courage to go to Disneyland during the pandemic, but all I got to say is, yeah, good luck. And I hope those janitors get paid a lot of money.
Yes, I like that. I like that.
But yeah, dude, we gonna do this next week?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
All right, everybody. If you enjoyed this podcast, give us that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or whatever streaming device you're listening. You're using to listen or watch Top of the Standings. Give us a like, comment, subscribe on YouTube if you're watching there. Give us a follow on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. The Big Three. We'll see you guys next week. This has been episode 30 of Top of the Standings. Half of this number. Peace. We'll see you next week.